I want to introduce the people on the screen with me right now. They'll be talking to you later. You'll see our board chair, Deirdre Webster Cobb, and Girls Leadership Council member, Sanjana Harhar. So wave, guys, we're really excited. All right. So to kick off tonight's event, we want to share a video with all of you. It's a pre-recorded video from Senator Cory Booker. He's the senator here in New Jersey. He couldn't be with us today, but he sent a message along about Alice Paul and Women's Equality Day. So my coworker is going to cue that up for us.
Hi, it's Cory Booker, and I am just thrilled to be able to share some words on this incredible 100-year recognition of not just the work of Alice Paul, but the suffrage movement as a whole. I want to thank this incredible organization, number one, for continuing the light and the torch that is Alice Paul's life. I thought I knew and respected Alice Paul, but it wasn't until I visited this incredible institution that I learned even more about her life, the sacrifices she made, the standards that she set, and the light that still shines from her work upon us today. We owe a debt. And for a woman who, before Gandhi was going on hunger strikes, the first person to be arrested for picketing in front of the White House, showing what real civil disobedience is, nonviolent activism is, and showing that we, as a fragile nation, we as a nation that is imperfect, can grow stronger and more perfect and a better embodiment of our values. That to me is truly a life to remember, to herald, and to try to live up to. We still have work to do, but I am so inspired by the work that you all do. And on this 100th year anniversary, I just want to say thank you for continuing to elevate the traditions of our nation that are most noble, righteous, and our only real promise for a greater future. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Lucy Beard here from the Alice Paul Institute. It looks like Colleen's screen has gone dark, so I'm going to pinch hit for her. I'd like to introduce next the fairly new, I can't say brand new anymore, but our new chair of the board of directors of the Alice Paul Institute, Deirdre Webster Cobb. Deirdre?
Does Colleen want me to go ahead and start?
Deirdre, you can talk now. You're on. Deirdre, can you hear us? Uh-oh. Oh, folks, live television, I'll tell you. What Deirdre, are you able to hear me? Oh, it looks like we have a block between us. Sanjana can hear me though, can't you? Oh, isn't this crazy? Okay. Just a second, we're gonna try to get word to Deirdre. I'm sorry, everyone, just one moment. Sanjana, we're going to work on Deirdre's mic. There is a problem there. Can you go ahead, please? This is Sanjana Harihar from the Girls Leadership Council.
Hi, I'm Sanjana Harihar, and I'm a senior at Council Rock High School North. I grew up in Newtown, Pennsylvania, and love spending time outdoors. I play tennis and am involved in many clubs at school, like STEM clubs. Being a part of the Girls Leadership Council has been a special and transformative experience. I've learned a lot about issues affecting women and various social injustices. I've had opportunities to support our community through various collections initiatives, and I continue to work with my mentors and peers to develop my leadership skills. 2020 not only marks 100 years since women won their long-fought battle for their right to vote. 2020 is an election year. There's still voter suppression today. As the voter initiative coordinator for GLC, I plan to lead voter registration initiatives. With the voter registration landscape looking so different due to COVID-19, I hope to use the leadership skills I have learned as well as the support of my peers and mentors at Alice Paul Institute to host voter registration drives in a way that's safe for everyone. I intend to work with my fellow members to create a GLC voter guide. It is not only important to help get voters registered, it is important that they understand who and what they are voting for. I want the public to understand the candidates to make an informed decision. Again, due to COVID-19, it is important to spread information about mail-in voting and important deadlines. I hope to reach youth voters through social media so people are given a fair opportunity to vote. The tenacious spirit of Alice Paul and the monumental celebration of voting rights for women is a further reminder of the importance of representation. As a young woman, I'm eager for my opportunity to vote and see it as a way to express my opinions. However, I know the work does not end in the voting booth or your mailbox. It is important that we advocate for important issues through petitions, marches, and simple conversations. When Alice and other members of the National Woman's Party picketed the White House in 1917, they did not have the right to vote, and I, along with any young woman leader out there, do not have to wait until we are of voting age to make a difference in this world. My experience with the Girls Leadership Council has made me more confident and empowered to confront injustices and take initiative.
Thank you very much, Sanjana. That was great. And I think you'll get some idea from Sanjana why we are so crazy about the Girls Leadership Council here at Paulsdale. She's a wonderful member. She's been with us since 8th grade, 9th grade, I guess. 9th grade, and I'm sad to see her grow, and go away, but it's nice to see her grow, just not go away. Now, let's try again with Deirdre Webster Cobb, the board chair, who we can hear, but I'm not sure she can hear us. We're going to give it another try. Deirdre?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deirdre Webster Cobb, and I am the chair of the board of directors of the Alice Paul Institute. I want to welcome you this evening to Paulsdale and to the Alice Paul Institute. Today we commemorate the 100th anniversary of the 1920 certification of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which gave women the right to vote. Although this is a significant milestone in women's history and American history, it cannot be lost on us that gender equality remains unfinished business. Alice Paul and other women in the suffrage movement were hopeful that by the year 2020, we would have realized ordinary equality for all. However, in every country in the world, women have less access to education, health care, economic autonomy, political empowerment, and decision-making positions at all levels. Those countries that have made significant progress towards gender equality have done so by implementing strategies such as legal reform, strengthening gender responsiveness, social protection, and public service delivery, establishing quotas or targeted goals for women's representation in traditionally underrepresented sectors, and support for women's movements in partnership with the public sector and the private sector. It is clear that in the United States of America, the leader of the free world, we still have a lot to do to achieve equality for all, beginning with enactment of the ERA. But even then, we must realize that our fight for equality must continue. Some scholars say that gender equality won't be realized for another 100 years. I certainly pray that that is not the case. So, what must we do to accelerate the pace of change and remove the barriers to gender equality in all sectors of society? We must continue to educate people, especially our youth, about the rich legacy of Alice Paul and the suffrage movement and the inspirational stories of the women who have made significant strides in the decades since holding office, leading companies, and breaking the glass ceiling in other areas of society. There are lessons to be learned from their struggles and their sacrifices. We must reconcile the younger generation's increasingly progressive views on gender equality with our own views, as our young people will keep the torch aflame and keep us marching in the right direction. We must work collaboratively with diverse women organizations who historically were excluded from the women's movement. We have to put the past behind us and together lift our voices to advocate for equality and march to give more visibility to the fight for equality. We must advocate to get out the vote, ensuring that people understand that the power of the vote is essential, especially today, and we must remove barriers at the ballot box so that everyone has access. We must vote for pro-ERA candidates and candidates who believe in equality for women in all areas. Only in this way will we effectuate the needed change for equality for all.
Thank you very much, Deirdre. That was great. Thank you. Next, we have another video insert. This is from Laura Bache, a young woman. She's I believe, a 10th grader in Louisville, Kentucky. And she has a particular interest in Alice Paul. In fact, she is the third of 3 sisters, all of whom have done Girl Scout Gold Award projects on women's history. And Laura visited us last fall and started to plan a Gold Award project here at Paulsdale that would have been a performance in character. Unfortunately, because of you know what, she can't be up here this spring or summer to do her performance, but she has written music for it, and she recorded one of her songs that she's going to be playing for us now. This is Laura Bache from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hi, my name is Laura Bache, and today I will be singing a song I wrote about Alice Paul. This song is about when Alice Paul was in England and she was deciding whether or not to join the suffrage movement there. This song is called Build the Road, and it's for my Girl Scout Gold Award project. I cannot be silent. These days silence is violence. When it's time to decide what's right, can I cross the line? Should I run and hide? Could I step aside and let the strong ones fight? It may happen on its own. It may grow and grow and grow. I could keep my thoughts Don't you dare forget your Quaker roots. No, this boyhood bias has gotta go. Pigs are flying and hell is cold. It's time to reap what our mother sowed. Things are changing, we'll gain control. You take the journey and we'll build the road. I cannot be silenced. I found something to feel pride in. La la like Poseidon's trident. I feel the tide is on our side here. I don't wanna hide in fear. Voices cried throughout the years. Choices guided by their tears. It may happen on its own. It may grow and grow and grow. But I can't keep my thoughts personal. Who cares if they call me radical? But that little girl inside me says, Alice, don't forget your memories. Don't you dare forget your Quaker roots. No, this boyhood bias has gotta go. Pigs are flying and hell is cold. It's time to reap what our mother sowed. Things are changing, we'll gain control. You take the journey and we'll build the road. The road. The road. I cannot be silent. These days silence is violence. It is time to decide what's right. Thank you.
Sound on that one.
Hi everyone, I came back on screen because I didn't want our lovely executive director, Lucy Beard, introducing herself. So, with bated breath, we wait to hear from Alice Paul Institute's executive director, Lucy Beard.
Thank you. That was a wonderful song, and I hope Laura is watching because and enjoying the kudos she deserves. Incredible. I can't carry a tune, so that was really nice. Well, good evening again, and happy Women's Equality Day, everybody. This certainly isn't the way we had planned to spend this day, but I have to admit that by going online with programs like this and other programs we've had, we're able to include so many more people from a greater distance than we could ever do in person here at Paulsdale. That's the silver lining to this cloud of a time we're in. Today, it's been a glorious day here at Paulsdale. But besides having unseasonably nice weather in August, Congressman Donald Norcross came to visit and to do a press conference here. He wanted to do it here because he was reading into the congressional record a citation for Alice Paul and for Women's Equality Day. So that was wonderful. There has been a local PBS crew here for most of the day doing filming for a documentary they're creating. And as part of that, they interviewed 2 of the Girls Leadership Council members who came to introduce Congressman Norcross. So not every high school girl gets that kind of opportunity to both be interviewed on TV and to meet a congressman in one day. And And then there have been numerous people coming here to Paulsdale for picnics. They brought little girls. We have pictures of them reading books about suffrage under some of the trees here and taking pictures with Votes for Women signs and wearing all white. This day has really come to symbolize something for so many women, and it's really wonderful to see. And why? Because over 100 years ago, a young woman rode down this driveway and headed out into the world to change things. She saw injustice, she saw inequality, and she felt it was her duty, her obligation to change it and to work for change. And that's what we try to teach here every day to all the girls here at the Alice Paul Institute, that they, like Alice, can be the one person who makes a difference, who can really make the world a better place. And those girls being interviewed earlier today, and Sanjita tonight, and Laura, you just get that sense that it's gonna happen, that these girls will make it happen, and they will bring this home to full equality for all of us. One of the real beauties of the, like I said, of the online programming is people from a distance. We have people on tonight. I've been watching the scroll, and I think our furthest west might be Texas, and our furthest north is Maine. It's just so heartening to see you dialing in to enjoy this together and to see the community that are the women. Alice Paul, one of her best known quotes is that the movement is like a mosaic and each of us puts in a little piece. Tonight, we even have some of those mosaic layers who had met Alice Paul, whether they were a brownie and whether they were a full-grown woman. And that's really exciting as well. So we're very glad you've joined us tonight. I hope you will continue to join us because the next 100 years are coming and there's more work to be done, as we all know. Barbara Irvine, our founding president, and I were talking recently about what was Alice doing on this day when it passed. This picture she had taken the day that Tennessee ratified the amendment on August 18th. It's a publicity shot. She understood the value of a good picture and brand and marketing. And so she is standing there raising her glass. And this was in the newspapers the very next morning, August 19th, 1920, under a banner headline that said, Tennessee ratifies the 19th Amendment. But then the headline under this picture was, Alice Paul says, we have no one to thank but the women for this. We didn't get this from the Democrats or the Republicans. We got this because of the women. And her whole article goes on to state that women have to now think of themselves as a bloc. They have to vote for their own interests, and they have to think of themselves as women first, and women who will vote for things that mean something to women. I dare say she might say the very same thing 100 years later in August 1920. We are still in search of that women's vote. And then I found a new piece today, August 26th, what was Alice doing? And on August 26th, she had hoped to be there for the signing of when the Secretary of State would actually sign the 19th Amendment into law. And they were at 8 a.m. They showed up. She and a group of women from the National Women's Party went to the Secretary of State, Colby's house, where he was going to sign it. They were kept in an outer room for quite a while. Then they were told, oh, he's already signed it, go home. So they did leave, and they were somewhat miffed because they had hoped to be a part of this. And then a few hours later, they got a message, oh, he didn't realize you were there. You come back and he'll do a ceremonial signing for you. But by that time, the women who were kind of had their nose out of joint, they said, no, we're on to other things. We don't have time for that. And then a group from NAWSA, the National American Women's Suffrage Association, with their leader, Carrie Chapman Catt, came by and took that opportunity instead. This is according to the Beacon Herald newspaper of the day. But Alice Paul is quoted in there. And this is August 26, 1920. She says, in spite of every obstacle that our opponents could put in our way, women have won the right to an equal voice in the affairs of this government. The Women's Party will not relax its vigilance, however, until it is satisfied that no further attempts will be made to wrest from the women of the United States the political equality which they have won. And after saying that, she got on the train for New York City, where she was calling together a meeting of her executive committee so that they could make plans for their national convention where they would fix the future policy of the National Women's Party. So there was no sitting back and resting for Alice Paul. She was on to her next campaign, which probably everyone on this knows was the Equal Rights Amendment. And like her, I charge that the Alice Paul Institute and all of you go forward and celebrate this milestone, 100th anniversary, but focus on the next 100 years, because we will surely have to get to full equality before that time is up. So if you'll join me, we'll raise a glass. And because prohibition's no longer in order, it might not be the grape juice she has in her glass. Happy Women's Equality Day. And here's to the next 100 years and full equality. Cheers. Thank you very much for joining us. Please visit our website. If you scroll down on the homepage, you will see very much of our events, as well as an online auction that we have going on right now, and it will be open for the next 3 days. So that's alicepaul.org. Thank you again, everyone, and happy Women's Equality Day. Thank you for being here tonight. Cheers.